All right, let's shift gears a little bit and talk about the other side of the ball. You know, what are your thoughts on UF's defense so far? Obviously, real poor performance against Miami. Is Miami that good, or did we make them look good from poor play?
Well, I think Miami's very talented. I think we still got a long ways to go defensively. I've been preaching for 2 or 3 years. Front seven to defense for the Florida Gators needs to get better and needs to be SEC caliber. I don't know if we're there yet. I think a couple people have jumped out to me in 2 games. I think Pup Howard and Shamar James have played really, really well. They fly around and make plays. And Jason Marshall Jr. has been outstanding. Miami didn't even target his way the entire game for the most part. Um, and then he forced a fumble the other day. But we still got a lot of holes, and I don't know if we'll be tested or learn anything about the Aggies. They struggle on offense. They're going to try to line up, buckle their chin strap, and run it right down our throats because Connor Wigman's kind of struggled in the passing game. So we'll learn more about the defense when we go to Mississippi State, quite honestly, because they play up tempo, they spread you out, and they go 100 miles an hour, and they got speed everywhere. But for us to win Saturday, defense needs to step up, no question about it.
We did see what looked like some improvements from week 1 to week 2, and obviously the opponent being completely different quality plays into that. But even then, still not a perfect game against Samford, and that's concerning moving into SEC play. And even if it's not Texas A&M, the big names down the road. And what changes would you like to see this week that would make you believe we're continuing on that right path?
Well, I look at all 3 phases of the football team. A lot of people gave me grief about saying there was no issues with the offense last year, which there weren't. I mean, there's 3 phases of a football team: special defense and offense. Special teams was atrocious last year. Defense was beyond pathetic, historically bad.
Mm-hmm.
Offense was clearly the best part of the team last year. So far this year, special teams has been outstanding. They've played it really well. Made some plays, pinned people down on the punt team, things of that inside the 10. They've been great. I like DK as a punt returner. He gets going north very fast. Defensively, I still got to see. I got to see something, and I may still not feel comfortable even after if we win against A&M. And then offensively, we still have issues at offensive line. So to answer your question, I'm kind of beating around the bush. It's going to take a team effort, and this is a critical game that Florida has got to find a way to win it. Maybe DJ comes off the bench and leads us to victory. I don't know what it's going to be, but Florida has to find a way to keep the fans interested this year. We got to beat the Aggies.
Ron Roberts was brought in to help kind of mentor Austin Armstrong. And honestly, people rave about what Austin Armstrong can be in the future, but I don't know that he's there yet. When you watch this defense, and we know they're not there yet, do you think that it's a communication issue? Do you think that the talent is not there? Do you think that the scheme doesn't fit the players? Like, where is the disconnect here?
Well, that's a great question. I think we do have some good players, but I do another show with Steve Russell, and he brought up a good point. He goes, the coaches and the media always do these preseason all SEC teams, first team, second team, third team.
Mm-hmm.
Well, when you look at the Gators this year, I think it was on second or third team, we had Montrell Johnson and Jason Marshall Jr. and our 2 specialists. That right there tells you what people think of the talent level here.
Yeah.
Now, you may not have all conference players, but when I look at a defense, especially our front 4, we have not seen that guy in several years that an offense has to say, okay, when we're game planning, we got to know where he is, and we cannot let him disrupt our plan on offense. We cannot let that guy win the game for them. I don't know if Florida has that guy right now.
So if we don't have that guy, that's obviously not a piece to the puzzle we can pick up mid-season. So is it possible to out-scheme not having that guy up front? We'll get right back to chatting with Shane about UF's defense. But first, we want to give some love to Meldon Law. They are the official injury law firm partner of the Florida Gators, and they have been serving North Central Florida for over 50 years. handling personal injury cases consisting of car, truck, motorcycle, pedestrian, dog bite, slip and fall, and more. Consultations for all matters are completely free. So hopefully you're not going to need them today, but if you do, please let Meldon Law take care of you. And of course, tell them Allie Peak sent you their way.
Well, you're just going to have to, as Coach Spurrier says, if they're running the ball down your throat, you're going to have to put more guys up there, play a lot of man coverage, and take chances. I thought what we've done so far this year, we've played a lot of base defense, kind of keeping the ball in front of you. And that's what we did against Miami. Miami had a lot of long drives, and then Cam Ward would have all day, and then he'd scramble and make a play down the field. I don't have a problem with keeping the ball in front of you. Because eventually, if you have to be methodical and drive the ball a long ways on a drive, something bad usually happens to the offense, whether it's a holding call, offsides, illegal formation to put you behind the chains. So like I said, we're going to know more about what Florida is against Texas A&M. We're not facing a dynamic offense like we did with Cam Ward in Miami. They're very pedestrian offensively. So I'm with y'all. I'm anxious to see what we do to attack their offense because I know what they're going to try to do. They're going to try to just line up and run it down our throat.
I talked to a lot of former players in the last couple of weeks, some of which just, friendly conversations, people that I talk to on a regular basis. Anyway, Shannon Snell came on. Obviously, I'm married to a former player. And the one kind of theme that I keep hearing over and over again is that they're disappointed in what they perceive as the effort and the, I guess, maybe enthusiasm level of players on the field. Do you also echo that? Do you feel like there's a lack of fire out there?
Honestly, I don't even look at that. I guess because I wasn't a fiery type player. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
I was very calm and cool. And I think as a quarterback, I mean, people look at how Tebow was. That's his personality. That's how like Danny didn't play like that. Rex didn't play like that. None of the guys under
They didn't play like that.
yeah, that's just kind of how we are. But football's an emotional game, no question. As Coach Spurrier says, he always had one coach on his staff that was the rah rah scream at you guy, and
Mm-hmm.
that was Coach Red Anderson back in the day. Because he would throw his visor usually at the quarterback, but to get people mad or upset. But yeah, from a defense is more you got to have some enthusiasm, some fire. I hear what people are saying. That doesn't bother me as much as execution.
Mm-hmm. And is execution effort based though?
But it can be. I mean, I think we all saw the one clip of I think it was Damian George after the interception. Look, there's two things you can control in life, whether you're playing football, playing baseball, you're going to school, whatever it is your attitude and your effort. And that's something that you can't coach. And if you have a great attitude, you give great effort, good things usually happen. And that's one thing that I'll always remember that Coach Spurrier used to tell us before every football game. Because, like I said, he was not a rah rah guy. He
Right.
always says, good things are going to happen, bad things are going to happen in this game. Just keep playing. And I firmly believe that.
Yeah. All right. So if you had to pick if Florida was going to win this weekend or not, what's your prediction?
I think we have to win the game. It's at home. You have to defend your home turf. But we finally won our first game in about 370 something days, but it was an FCS opponent. We haven't beaten FBS opponent since South Carolina last year. So this is crucial. We've got to find a way to win this game, mainly because it's at home. You go 1-0 in the SEC. You
Mm-hmm.
got Mississippi State next week, which we've always, regardless of who the coach was, had trouble playing there.
Yeah.
I am very concerned about trying to stop their offense.
All right, Shane. Well, we appreciate you taking the time out to talk to us. I feel like we always learn something new when I have you on, and I appreciate it. And hopefully, we pull this one out.
Yep. Allie, appreciate you having me.
All right, go Gators.